What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. In this video, we're going to be talking about the top stocks that we need to be watching out for next week. We have multiple companies that are going to be reporting earnings. I'm also going to be doing an update of the companies that we talked about. What are some major events that can significantly affect the stock market when it comes to the specific stocks that I talked about in the past? So I'm going to cover all this important information. So make sure you stay tuned. Now let's get right into the video. Of course, next week there's a holiday, so we have to really pay attention to the volume declining in some of the trading days as we get closer and closer to that day, specifically for like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and that is going to significantly affect the volume. And also, of course, the COVID cases are significantly rising across the states, so people are not advised to travel a lot, so they might stay indoor, stay with their parents in the same house. They're not going to travel that much, so they might be indoors, and maybe they open up their Robinhood account. They might start investing or trading, things like that. So maybe the volume might increase from that perspective, because this year is completely different than the other past years or the past decades that we talk about the stock market. So you never know this stuff, but the volume is definitely going to be declining as we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving Day. So, but now let's talk about, the top stocks that we covered in the past, even the last week video, that these stocks have been significantly going to the upside, so we got Solo, Arcimoto, ayro, and Candy stock, so we're going to go over exactly what could potentially happen for these companies when the stock price just goes significantly higher and higher. So usually when the stock price goes higher, let's say for example for Arcimoto, which is ticker symbol FUV, the stock price significantly shot up. I mean, a new 52-week high, and it went up to $20. So what they did is they did an offering. So as you can see, Arcimoto shares slipped 10% after pricing 50 million direct offering. So I'm going to go exactly what offering is. So there are different types of offerings. An offering is basically a public sale, either to stock, bonds, or securities, and usually companies do an IPO, initial sale to public. The main purpose of this is, of course, to raise capital. That's why this stocks exist, the stock market exists, for these companies to sell shares, and they be able to use the money that they raise, either to invest in the company or to do some extra stuff that's going to really help the company grow in the future. So second one is shareholders selling to the public, and also they can have an option to reserve of authorized shares. So they're going to reserve it, they're not going to sell it directly, they're just going to have it on reserve. And next time when the overall stock shoots up, like exactly what happened to Arcimoto, they will be able to sell that. So usually when that happens, that is what's called diluting the shares. So basically what diluting is, there's two types of diluting. Also, it's going to be diluting offering versus non-diluting offering. So for diluting offerings, they're going to be adding, shares to the number of outstanding shares that are available right now, or they can be selling the stocks reserved that they have. Since we talked about the offering, which is they have reserved authorized shares that they have, they can be dumping it when the stock price goes higher. So frequently when these happens, the stock price go down. That's exactly what happened for a little bit for Arcimoto stock. Its stock slipped 10% when they did a 50 million direct offering. That's a lot of money. So they took advantage of exactly why the overall stock market, when the stock goes higher, so we might expect similar steps being taken for other companies. Let's say, for example, for Solo, we have Kndi, which is ticker symbol kndi. These companies have significantly moved to the upside, so you have to be careful when they do this offering. The stock price can definitely go lower to the downside for a few, maybe for 1 day, for 2 days, depending upon how the stock behaves, how the investors take into account when they dilute their shares. But that is a great opportunity if you're somebody that believes in the company. You can get involved in it and scoop some shares if they announce that. So my prediction is, of course, these companies were penny stock a few days ago, right? A few weeks ago, a few months ago, they were penny stock. Once the stock price just shoots up, the majority of the time, they take advantage of it and they do an offering and they raise money. So that is the main purpose of the stock market, is, these companies to raise money and to use it to grow their company, to expand and do a lot of things that's going to benefit them in the long term. So they also can do a non-diluting offering. So what that basically means is that it does not add shares to the public, but however, individual, shareholders in the company, like the CEO or the CFO, is going to be, selling shares, and that is just not going to be increasing the number of share amount. They're just changing hands from the CEO to the public. So the CEO is going to be the one that's going to be making a profit, or any of the employees that decide to sell is going to be the one that's taking the profit. So a lot of these things happen when the stock price goes higher. So you have to be really careful. So you might have to check the SEC filings when these companies' prices go up and down when they release a press release. So definitely be on the lookout for all these top EV companies that their stock price went higher. So NIO initially, when NIO stock started to rise higher and higher, they started doing it. They started to do an offering to raise money. They're offering to raise money, so that is a great for the company for the short term. Even Tesla even does it, from time to time. So it's not something to be frowned upon, but just you have to be careful that when that thing happens, depending upon if you're somebody that got in it, for swing trade or for day trade and things like that, that really can drastically affect the stock price to the downside. So it really affects it negatively. So you have to be careful about that. But for the long term, of course, somebody that got involved in these companies, to swing trade them for a while, to hold them for a while. And if you believe in these companies in the future, you can take the hit, and just wait, not even watch the company if it dips down, because you're in it for the long term. So that is one of the benefits of, being a long-term investor when it comes to this kind of short-term volatility. And of course, when they do raise capital by taking advantage of the stock price, it's actually great for the long-term people, because, now the company has more money to dispose, more money to expand on their businesses. Maybe they're going to invest it, maybe in their design, or going to be selling, manufacturing, more vehicles. And that is in turn is going to help the company grow in the future. Maybe they might take a hit in the short term, but the long term wise, these going to be a great opportunity for them to get money so they can deploy it out there, and they can be able to use and expand their company in the future. So that's going to be more attractive, and that's going to help them grow in the future. So this is basically what that is, just an offering. You might see them, they always announce it by press release, and they file SEC filing too at the same time. And that is going to be the main reason why you can be able to check and understand if the stock price drastically goes down. But overall, we might expect a little dip to the downside, because I believe the stock price is just extended in the short term a little bit. But even if nothing happens, if the momentum is there, there's a lot of, hype going on right now with these EV companies. Of course, NIO is the leader of the way. NIO been going up. A lot of people are trying to catch the next NIO or the next, Tesla stock. So it's really great to see, if you got involved in it really early, take advantage of it. That's fantastic. So, but super be careful. These used to be penny stocks, so the volatility is going to be also high at the same time. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. And if you have any questions, any comments, make sure you drop in the comment section below. And if you want to join the Discord chat or Patreon page for this channel, or, get free stocks, links available in the description box below. And hit the like button. But let's get it for tomorrow. And I'll catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.